I think the Onion Knight's going to survive this battle.
I hope so. I like him.
I really like Sudavis.
He's been a good guy the whole way through. Very loyal,
if I were going tonight,
smart.
It would have been much before this.
Yeah, I dug him.
I like the way he talks. So
I like the way he talks too.
So I don't know what the term for that kind of speaking is, like clipped, I think. But yeah, I like him. He's good. Sam,
who cares?
If he comes up with one more like clever science thing for John to make cool, just kill him. I don't care. Kill Gilly too. I don't fucking care. Give that baby to Cersei and she'll get distracted by it.
I need Sam to come up with some sort of a dragon glass denture situation for the wolf. I need him to get some dragon. I need John to be on the wall like where have you been, Sam? Been working on your wolf.
Yeah,
Tyrion could do that.
Much, and the wolf goes, and it's all black fucking dragon teeth.
Tyrion,
what the fuck have you done?
Tyrion made that saddle for Bran.
He hates it.
I think Varys, you could bump Varys up from probably safe to very safe.
What? Isn't he in the crypt?
Yeah, he is, and the crypt thing was so obvious where they must have said 5 different times where they're like, we'll go down to the crypt and you'll be entirely safe. There's no reason you can't. There's nothing in the crypt that could get you. An army of the dead that rises the dead up. You go stay in the place with all the dead. There's no way for them to get you. It's totally safe. And I'm somewhat like another character in a totally different situation 4 minutes from now in screen time, going to say the same thing. That's how you know. And it's so obvious something's going to go wrong in the crypt.
Ned Stark's bones are going to assemble themselves together and fucking come crawling out of one of those crypts. It's going to be a real
problem. Dude, if they actually had like Sean Bean, does that sound
well? Right? It's just if you remember, like it's just bones. You know, they burned him and they just sent his.
You're
bones
right.
back.
It would be Sean's CGI Bean, right?
It'd be a Skeletor.
Yeah. But
Skyrim.
Rickon, he's not that dead. I mean,
Rickon could come back. Sure, he's only been dead what feels like a week or something like that.
If he is dead and he comes walking up as a white, I'm not going to care. Like I'm not going to be like, oh my god, it's Rickon.
You're not wrapped around the Rickon plot line, the story arc.
Rickon could have tripped and cracked his head open. Episode 1 that I saw him, and I wouldn't care.
You should have ran Serpentine. I still maintain that.
Yes, Serpentine. Actually, with a bow and arrow, that'll work a lot better.
Right? I feel like with a bow and arrow, once you get a little distance, you could intelligently run away from it. Not random.
You knew he was fucked when Ramsay took out that bow with like those curve things on the top and bottom, because that's the same kind of bow and arrow that Lurtz used in Lord of the Rings to kill Boromir.
Yeah, big scary like. It was like some sort of a medieval compound bow. Called? It wasn't even recurve. It was weird. It had like these extra like bendy panels on top. It's a bow that I'm not familiar with.
A Hollywood bow.
I don't know if that bow ever existed at any point ever.
That's why I called it a Hollywood bow.
Yeah, they just made it look cool. It's basically like, well, you just put blades on the front.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous sort of recurve compound bow type thing. It may have existed. I don't remember. I may have done some research on this and forgotten it, but it was a bizarre looking bow. Yeah, I knew he was dead at that point.
Who's the character that would shock you if they died in this upcoming episode?
Man, if Jon Snow died in the next episode. Yeah.
Like if Jon dies in the next episode, or if Daenerys dies in the next episode, or Tyrion, any of the 3 potential Targaryen kids, I would be shocked if one of them dies before the old, or I guess they can't all fly a dragon now because one of them.
They got to win this battle though. So here's my thought process. Like the way I see it, either they win the battle or they lose the battle. Those are the 2 outcomes that are possible.
Now, how do you figure?
Now, just stick with me here. Stick with me here. Now, I think they win the battle because if they lose the battle, then either every single one of these characters dies or only like 3 or 4 of them live, because the only way that anyone could escape the battle would be flying away on a dragon. So you can only save as many of those characters that we're looking at here as can fit on 2 dragons. If they're going to lose.
Alternative theory. And this comes from the internet. I'm not that clever. They send a minimal force to Winterfell. Winterfell wins. They send a bigger force to Old City, whatever the Citadel is.
Town, yeah.
Old Town, which is, I learned, the second most populated city in our little Game of Thrones universe. And then they get a much larger army to take out Cersei.
Huh. I didn't know Old Town was that big.
I learned it's on the internet, Taylor.
No, okay. I think he's flying around. He's going to pop at King's Landing. I think he's going to zap everybody there. The Night King.
I mean, he was at the fight though. He's at Winterfell. We saw him.
He doesn't have to stay at Winterfell.
He
We've
has a
already
dragon,
known
and they've unlocked fast travel last year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so you'd be like, "There's the Night King," and then the next scene they're like, "There's the Night King," but they're in the King's
Yeah, there's gonna be some weird turnstile-looking thing that he hits and fast travels like all the games.
Yeah, well, I just like they've said there's 1 million people in King's Landing for so long. It struck me as reminiscent of the "you'll be safe in the crypts" kind of thing, where it's like you tried to hammer that home so much, it's indicative.
Is there anyone they hammered home and executed on though? I feel like that's not very Games of Thronesy.
It might not be.
Like I don't recall them saying like Sansa will never get married twice, 12 times, and you know.
Season 1, Sansa will never be raped by that bastard Ramsay Bolton.
Just say that repeatedly.
Ever.
For no reason, she's like, John, you're making me so uncomfortable. No, I just want you to know I would never let you do it. I would never let him do that to you.
Dude,
I would rape you before I'd allow him.
Yeah. You know how they have they'll like a line from 4 years ago and they bring it back as being relevant. I kept thinking like Tyrion Lannister. Yeah, Tyrion Lannister, I have it right. He was like, you know, we're not going to have sex on our wedding night. We're not going to have sex until you're ready to have sex. And I want that to like be a callback to this year when Sansa's like, you know what? It is our last night. Fuck it.
If anyone brought that callback, it would be Tormund with Brienne, where he just decides that he's grown enough as a man, as a wildling, to no longer rape for fun. And so he
does he rape for fun?
Yeah, they all do. That's my understanding of their culture.
Yeah.
Right? Lots of rape.
They get to rape on all the time.
I like how they call them rapers instead of rapists. For some reason, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the way they said it in olden days.
Yeah, the rapers.
Right. The
it
rapers.
wasn't until the mid 1800s that we added the ist. It used to be rapists.
Yeah, they would just have sex and bust rhymes. Rapers.
I hope Tormund doesn't die. I like Tormund, but he's gonna die because I like him.
He's good at killing people. That's why he's alive.
That's true, and he's got a cool like scimitar kind of sword. Like he still use that old school sword that he brought from north of the wall? Everybody else getting decked out in cool ass weapons.
Dude, I only really pay attention to swords that catch on fire or are made of Valyrian steel.
You know what'd be funny
Valyrian?
is if Mormont now goes to Jon. He's like, Lord Snow, now that I have a Valyrian steel sword, how about trade these? Because technically that is mine. I didn't have to give it to you.
I hope he literally says tradesies.
You swapperoo. There are no Indian givers in my kingdom.
That's racist.
I'll take both of the swords now as punishment. Kalishi, you stole my sword.
When I watched Sam give
take it from me.
when I watched Sam give him that
I'll never
sword,
try to fuck you again if you get me my sword back.
I've got bigger problems than your goddamn sword, Jorah.
Kalishi, I'm so fucking horny.
It's all scaly down there still.
Yeah.
I was all wrapped up in Sam not really hey, I just want to make this clear. This is a loan. If we're both alive tomorrow, you gotta give it back. But that's not what he did. But that's where my head was. Like, I can't really lift this. It might as well be on you for the battle. But afterwards, returns.
Yes, Sam, like, honestly, how fucking fat he is this far into the series. It literally takes you out of the moment.
You know what's more ridiculous?
Yeah,
I was about to say,
that
Lost.
big fat guy from Lost.
Hurley.
I never watched Lost, but I saw him on the like season 5 of Lost. And
Hurley aspires to be Sam someday.
Yeah, Hurley would need to lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah,
you know, if I ever get off this island where there's no food, I'm gonna get on that Weight Watchers program, and I'm gonna be like Sam. Yeah, able to walk.
I made my own Weight Watchers. How many points are in 10 Beatles?
It makes no sense, and it's one of the things that I really appreciate from my actor when they alter their body for a role. And like Tom Hanks, and I mean, if we're talking about like Castaways,
yeah.
go to fucking Tom Hanks at Castaway and watch that man go from overweight to diminished and underweight.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Christian Bale, 15 different times in 15 different ways. Like,
Old school
Christian Bale.
Robert De Niro.
De Niro
yeah,
for sure.
when he was
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull and
Yeah.
Taxi, and Cape Fear. He
Cape-
got ripped.
Fuck. He was. I didn't recognize how scary he was going to be. He took his shirt off, and you're like, "Whoa, he's a real life superhero."
Joaquin Phoenix has done it now. We definitely have seen, because I don't think you saw the movie, Woody, but it was called oh shit, You Were Never There or something like that. Essentially, he is trying to save this girl from like mafioso pedophiles or something like that, and he's like a fixer. Basically, there's this like agency where you go and you're like, hey, my child has been stolen, like a private investigator type situation. And he's the guy the private investigator calls when things need to get messy. He's like, yeah, I think the Russians have her. He's like, how many? Hard to tell. All right, well, let me go buy a claw hammer and I'll be right there. This is literally what happens. And he shows up and he just waits outside of this building where they've got like underage prostitutes until like somebody comes out. He gets that guy in the back of a car, beats the dog shit out of him, and asks what the door code is. Then he just walks in, and you sort of see it from the POV of indoor security cameras as he just walks from man to man and claw hammers them to death. Like, he doesn't hit them once, like movie style, like ka-tink, and they fall over unconscious. No, he's like 8 times in the head on each of them with a big fucking claw hammer, and he goes through like he claw hammers.
That's very cool. I like that.
I'm stuck on the claw part. Wouldn't you want the straighter one, not the?
He doesn't
claw?
use the claw. Well, a claw hammer is just a regular hammer, the way I understand it.
It's got a claw hammer has the curved back, and then the other kind is a straight back.
But he's just beating him with the hammer.
He's using
side.
the hammer part. He's not even. He's not.
Well,
using
then, yeah. I mean, heck, you might as well use a mini sledge at that point.
Yeah, you can
He
get cooler
should've
shit
gotten a
at
mini
Ace
sledge.
Hardware than that. Like, you could buy a machete there.
It was clear this was his brand, though. When he's shopping, he's like, "Yep, the old number 8 claw hammer. That's the one for me." And he's a Hulk in that movie, like not cut at all. It looks like he just like dirty bulked up about 40 or 50 pounds and got thick, and his back is just wide and thick and heavy and like not ripped at all, not cut, just muscular.
Just a slab of man.
A slab of man. And then we see him in the Joker now that's about to come out, and he is emaciated, like ripped, like a vertebrae or jutting out of his back. You know, I admire that in my actors. So when Sam has it become at least medium Sam at this point, it's come on, dude. I bet they're paying you well. You could have.
They're clearly paying him well. Imagine what his food budget looks like.
Well enough to to afford some EPO and whatever drug the UFC fighters cut with.
Yeah, get some EPO. Say, I mean, I'm sure he needs some oxygen just getting up the stairs. I wish
like, that was unbelievable when he would go on those treks with the Night Watch, and he's walking around miles and miles, and it's like it's already a stretch to believe that all of these old men could make these walks who are like still fit, but you're gonna make this walk? Yeah, fucking right. Like, they really should have had him lose 50 or 60 pounds at least.
It would have been neat if that was part of his character arc. Like he joins the Night Watch. So that he could
have used Heartsbane or whatever the sword was.
I hear you, but like even if he never became a badass, if you just saw the change in him, right? Like, if he had joined the U.S. Army, I'm sure he wouldn't get through boot. I think if you fail boot camp, they like put you in remedial. They make you keep doing it. It'd be neat to see him go through that kind of change that heavy people in boot camp do.
Yeah,
I think I'm right.
But he didn't, and he never will. He'll probably die an early death because of it. And it'll be deserved. It'll be deserved for messing up our Game of Thrones experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe he was like, "Hey guys, I'm going to lose a lot of weight for the show," you know. And the show creators were absolutely not. In fact, we need you to gain some because George Martin's here, and he says that you are his muse, your character. He sees himself in the Sam character, and he wants you to bulk up, if anything else. Here, have some more pudding.
What are you doing, Sam? I'm trying to find something in these old tomes about randomness and my left foot going numb. But the old maesters don't have any advice for it.
I get very dizzy when I haven't had my pudding.
Sam's wife is Gilly,
Maester
right?
Simmons says to just dance it away.
Does Gilly die? Is Gilly gonna die next episode?
Nah, Gilly can't die.
If she did die, who would fucking care?
who would care? That's the thing,
Dude.
It's like oh, and Gilly died. What?
Yeah.
I disagree. You got to kill some people. I would love for it to be a bloodbath this weekend, and people like Gilly can just add to it.
Sure, let her die.
I don't care about Gilly. She's fine dying. I don't care about Missandei. She can die. I don't care about Grey Worm. I don't care about Theon. I don't care about... Well, I guess those are the only ones that I strictly don't care about that can die. And so they probably... And Brienne. Brienne's already a knight. Now she has to get her, valorous death. And so she can die too. And Gendry. Honestly, he got laid. And he's just going to, be out there mucking up the works as they're trying to figure out an heir.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Daenerys had something to do with his death.
I can't remember the name of it. There's a well-known Hollywood trope, which is like they kill the main character's love interest just to motivate the main character. It's something that they accused Deadpool 2 of, which maybe they were guilty of. And they should do that for Sam. They should kill off his wife, maybe his baby too. And
Who's going to do read harder?
So hard. He's going to read completely erect.
I was so upset when my wife died. I invented bifocals.
I don't know. It'd be a thing to see. Maybe he can act. I'm not sure.
They should have had an ongoing bit throughout the entire show since Sam entered, where every time he's in the study reading, he's just munching.
I like
so
that.
many snacks, so many chicken legs,
and always hiding the food under a scroll or something.
Oh,
like
Gilly,
that.
what are you doing in here? I'm certainly not pretending to read and eating.
I wish John had come in and unraveled one of those old scrolls, and there's just a big breadstick in the middle.
Sam, when they say unlimited, they don't really mean it. It's like, I know, my lord, but I can't leave. Once they start serving them, I can't. And I never touch the salad.
I wonder.
We all know Sam.
Danny's going to turn villain, according to me. I wonder if that will start on Sunday.
I don't think she's going to turn villain.
I think she'll turn shitty for a little bit because she's clearly not enthused about John basically being like, hey, I came around and I see your point of view about how the world is working here, but it turns out I actually outrank you now. Shit, right? And now she's kind of realizing,
it'd be one thing.
Fuck.
It'd be one thing if John didn't exist and Sansa was saying this to her, because they're both chicks and there's no lesbian marriages. It would seem in Game of Thrones. But this scenario is so easily solved with a marriage that I don't think they need her to go villain. John can just be like, "You want to be the queen, right? Seems that I'm the king. You don't have to do any of that crazy stuff you've been planning this whole time. Let's just get what maester do we still have that's alive?"
The kings outrank queens, right? Robert outranks Cersei.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, John seems like the kind of guy to share a little power.
I got myself made a minister online, John. We don't want your fat ass ruining our photos.
Jesus.
All right. And take that bastard child away. We all know its father's really its father.
Yeah. Take that product of rape out of my sight.
Take that incestuous rape baby out of my sight.
Man, that's a rough life for that kid. Or actually, he's probably gonna die, so it'll be okay.
Oh yeah, I hope the baby dies.
That's part of the mom and babies. They should die. Just one sword pierce through the two of them.
Okay,
a little red wedding callback.
How do you think the crypt is gonna go wrong? What are your thoughts?
You may have nailed it. It's full of dead bodies, right? I feel like maybe the Night King is like.
It begins with some scratching inside of tombs, and then everyone gets panicked, and the walls start to the sarcophaguses start to open up.
Sarcophagi.
and then there comes Rickon out, doing that dance from Thriller. That's how I see it.
That would ruin the mood. They come out to that song.
I would kind of but they do it with like orchestra music, like Game of Thrones already has. Dun, 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 dun.
Why is he wearing that Michael Jackson red leather jacket?
Now we haven't figured out where they all got white gloves.
Magic. I'm jazzed, man. And look, we're probably done with Game of Thrones talk, right? I think we got it.
Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, we're 45 minutes into the show. I didn't realize it went that long.